When adding 120-volt receptacles to rooftop HVAC units, several important considerations must be taken into account. Firstly, safety is paramount. Ensure all electrical work is performed by a qualified electrician in accordance with local codes and regulations. Secondly, any penetration of the roof curb may compromise the roof's integrity. Consult with a roofing professional to determine the appropriate method of entry and sealing. Thirdly, the receptacle should be easily accessible for maintenance and testing. Fourthly, GFCI receptacles are required for outdoor use. Fifthly, verify that the proposed location complies with electrical codes, including the National Electrical Code, or NEC. Now, let's discuss a proposed solution for adding the 120-volt receptacle. 1. Create an entry point in a suitable location on the roof curb. Use a roof flashing boot or similar device to seal the penetration and prevent water infiltration. 2. Run MC cable through the roof curb into the HVAC unit. Secure the conduit using appropriate straps or hangers. 3. Install a weatherproof electrical box on the fixed panel or corner of the HVAC unit. 4. Install a GFCI receptacle inside the box. 5. Ensure that the GFCI receptacle is properly grounded to the HVAC unit or an existing grounding system. 6. Seal all connections and penetrations to prevent water and moisture ingress. There are also alternative solutions to consider. 1. Consider installing rooftop solar panels to generate electricity for the HVAC units. This eliminates the need for 120 volts outlets. 2. Run a dedicated 120 volts circuit from another part of the building to the HVAC units. This requires internal wiring and potential conduit installation. Remember these best practices. Firstly, obtain necessary permits and inspections before proceeding. Secondly, document all work performed for future reference. Thirdly, test the GFCI receptacle regularly to ensure its functionality. Fourthly, keep the area around the receptacle clean and free of debris. When working with electrical systems, always prioritize safety. Ensure that the power is disconnected before starting any work. Use appropriate personal protective equipment, or PPE, such as gloves and safety glasses. Double-check all connections to prevent short circuits or ground faults. Adhere to all applicable electrical codes and regulations. When selecting materials for the installation, choose products that are suitable for outdoor use and can withstand the harsh rooftop environment. Use weatherproof boxes, fittings, and wiring to protect against moisture, sunlight, and temperature extremes. Consider using stainless steel or other corrosion-resistant materials to prolong the lifespan of the installation. Ensure that the GFCI receptacle is properly rated for the intended load and that it is installed in a location where it is easily accessible for testing and maintenance. Regularly inspect the receptacle for signs of damage or wear and replace it if necessary. When running MC cable, be sure to support it properly to prevent it from sagging or becoming damaged. Use appropriate straps or hangers to secure the cable to the roof curb and the HVAC unit. Avoid running the cable across sharp edges or in areas where it could be easily damaged. When grounding the GFCI receptacle, follow the NEC guidelines for proper grounding and bonding. Ensure that the grounding conductor is properly sized and connected to a suitable grounding electrode. Test the grounding system to verify that it is functioning correctly. When sealing penetrations and connections, use a high-quality sealant that is specifically designed for outdoor use. Apply the sealant liberally to all joints and seams to prevent water and moisture from entering the electrical system. Regularly inspect the seals for signs of deterioration and reapply sealant as necessary. Consider the environmental impact of the installation. Use energy-efficient materials and practices whenever possible. Consider installing solar panels to reduce the reliance on grid electricity. Recycle any waste materials generated during the installation. Be aware of the potential hazards associated with working on rooftops. Use appropriate fall protection equipment, such as harnesses and lifelines. Work in pairs whenever possible to ensure that someone is available to assist in case of an emergency. Avoid working on rooftops during inclement weather. When installing rooftop solar panels, follow the manufacturer's instructions carefully. Ensure that the panels are properly mounted and connected to the electrical system. Use a qualified solar installer to ensure that the installation is safe and code compliant. When running a dedicated 120-volt circuit from another part of the building, follow the NEC guidelines for branch circuit wiring. Use the appropriate wire size, conduit, and overcurrent protection. Ensure that the circuit is properly labeled and that it is connected to a suitable power source. When obtaining permits and inspections, be prepared to provide detailed information about the proposed installation. This may include drawings, specifications, and calculations. Work closely with the local building department to ensure that the installation meets all applicable codes and regulations. When documenting the work performed, include detailed information about the materials used, the installation procedures followed, and the test results obtained. This documentation will be helpful for future maintenance and troubleshooting. When testing the GFCI receptacle, use a GFCI tester to verify that it is functioning correctly. The tester should trip the receptacle when the test button is pressed. If the receptacle does not trip, replace it immediately. When keeping the area around the receptacle clean and free of debris, be sure to remove any leaves, dirt, or other materials that could accumulate and block the receptacle. This will help to prevent moisture from entering the electrical system and causing damage. Regularly inspect the receptacle for signs of corrosion or damage and clean it as necessary. Remember that electrical work can be dangerous. If you are not comfortable performing the work yourself, hire a qualified electrician. Always follow safety precautions and adhere to all applicable codes and regulations. By following these guidelines, you can safely and effectively add 120 volts receptacles to rooftop HVAC units. This will provide convenient access to power for maintenance and testing, while also ensuring the safety and reliability of the electrical system. In addition to the above considerations, it is also important to think about the long-term maintenance and upkeep of the installed receptacle. Consider the following points. Firstly, schedule regular inspections of the receptacle, wiring, and conduit to identify any signs of wear, damage, or corrosion. Secondly, develop a preventative maintenance plan that includes cleaning, tightening connections, and replacing worn or damaged components. Thirdly, keep a record of all maintenance activities, including dates, descriptions of work performed, and materials used. Fourthly, train maintenance personnel on proper procedures for inspecting, testing, and repairing the receptacle and associated equipment. Fifthly, ensure that replacement parts are readily available to minimize downtime in the event of a failure. Sixthly, consider using a remote monitoring system to track the performance of the receptacle and to detect any potential problems early on. Seventhly, implement a safety program that includes regular training on electrical safety, lockout/tagout procedures, and the use of personal protective equipment. Eighthly, establish a clear chain of command and communication protocols for reporting and resolving electrical issues. Ninthly, conduct periodic audits of the electrical system to ensure compliance with applicable codes and regulations. Tenthly, stay up to date on the latest electrical technologies and best practices to improve the safety and efficiency of the installation. By implementing a comprehensive maintenance and upkeep program, you can extend the lifespan of the installed receptacle and minimize the risk of electrical hazards. This will help to ensure the safety of personnel and the reliable operation of the HVAC equipment. It's also important to consider the potential impact of the installation on the building's energy consumption. If the HVAC units are not energy efficient, the added receptacle could contribute to increased energy bills. Consider upgrading to more energy-efficient HVAC units or implementing other energy-saving measures to offset the increased energy consumption. Another factor to consider is the potential for vandalism or theft. If the receptacle is easily accessible to the public, it could be a target for vandals or thieves. Consider installing a lockable cover or other security measures to protect the receptacle from unauthorized use. In addition to the NEC, there may be other local codes or regulations that apply to the installation. Be sure to check with the local building department to ensure compliance with all applicable requirements. When selecting a location for the receptacle, consider the potential for snow or ice accumulation. Choose a location that is less likely to be affected by snow or ice, or install a snow shield to protect the receptacle from the elements. If the HVAC units are located in a coastal area, consider the potential for salt spray and corrosion. Use corrosion-resistant materials and coatings to protect the electrical system from the damaging effects of salt. When working on rooftop equipment, be aware of the potential for wind and other weather conditions. Secure all materials and equipment to prevent them from being blown off the roof. Avoid working on rooftops during high winds or other hazardous weather conditions. Consider the potential for wildlife interference. Birds, squirrels, and other animals can damage electrical equipment. Use appropriate measures to protect the receptacle and wiring from wildlife. If the HVAC units are located near trees, consider the potential for tree limbs to fall and damage the electrical system. Trim or remove any trees that pose a hazard to the equipment. When installing the receptacle, be sure to follow the manufacturer's instructions carefully. Improper installation can void the warranty and could create a safety hazard. If you have any questions or concerns about the installation, consult with a qualified electrician or electrical engineer. Remember that electrical work can be complex and dangerous. It's always best to err on the side of caution and seek professional assistance when needed. By carefully considering all of the factors outlined above, you can safely and effectively add 120 volts receptacles to rooftop HVAC units. This will provide convenient access to power for maintenance and testing, while also ensuring the safety and reliability of the electrical system. And never forget to prioritize safety in all aspects of the installation and maintenance process. Always disconnect the power before working on any electrical equipment and follow all applicable safety procedures. With careful planning and execution, you can create a safe and reliable electrical system for your rooftop HVAC units.